down to brass tacks, gentlemen.
This is it. The American dream.
Let's just cut the crap and get down to brass tacks here.
This is it. The American dream.
Let's get down to brass tacks here.
This is it. The American dream.
But let's get to brass tacks here.
Need to fucking practice, Randy!
Damn it, I missed the post. I always try to go in on that second fucking round of do, but I fucked it up because my mic was still muted.
The tables have turned.
Yeah, just a big fat fucking idiot. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brass Tacks Podcast, episode 145. We are your hosts, Rick and Adam. My name is Rick.
Gas Queen, Slava Ukraine.
Yeah, you guys are doing really good over there right now.
That's not good.
You guys are really whooping some ass over there.
I mean, for the second best, quote unquote, you know,
what?
Military, it's pretty good. The last couple months.
I thought you were going to say flag football team.
Yeah, well, might as well be.
I'm over here like coughing and shit. I was hurrying up and woofing down my grocery store sushi, and now I keep like getting stupid grains of rice stuck in my throat and shit.
Have an 11 sushi?
No, I got it from fucking Lowe's Food, you know, where Robbie kills his liver every day. I don't think he has a job anymore. I know he said he was going to join the show if he got off of work in time, but he's still working, you know, quote unquote working. We all know what that means. He's fucking hustling drinks over at Food Lion.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry,
Food
Lowe's Foods, excuse me. I don't think Food Lion is quite at the echelon where they need a bar in their establishment. I think that would lend itself more to like shootings and shit like that.
Oh, yeah, it's weird that a grocery store has like pussy taste, like
a bar.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. What's going on, Agent D-Bone? How you doing, pimp? We got him in the chat. We got Jana in the chat. How you doing, Jana? What's going on? She says, "Hello, boys. Don't watch The Northman on Peacock. It's not good." Adam and I were making fun of The Northman. What, like
I
week
watched
ago?
It.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
I'm not watching that garbage. Get the fuck out of my face.
It made no sense.
Every time I see a grown man, like today, actually, I'm glad we're bringing this up. Every time I see a grown man walking around like in public, like today was the grocery store, he's got his little Thor's hammer necklace around his neck and stuff. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, guy. I own a Thor's hammer necklace, but it was a gift from a friend who, like, you know, bought it ironically. You know what I mean?
Oh, I thought Mike gave it to you or something.
Oh wait, no, that means I have two. Yeah, because Mike gave me one.
Yeah,
Mike gave me one
Mike
too.
Gave you one.
Yeah, I remember that. I still have that one too. I've got them both in like a box full of other jewelry and other accessories people have given me.
It could have been good though. The movie could have been good.
Yeah, Vikings are cool as shit, but I feel like everything recently is making them like bitched out.
This was kind of gay. It was just kind of gay. The movie was just gay, like.
Yeah, and they keep trying to do the diversity thing with Vikings, and it's like, no, they were pretty, like, they kept to themselves. Like, as far as I know, I think Norsemen in general were all about, like, you know, keeping the purity of their blood going, you know.
Well, I don't know. They raped and like fucked everyone. Like they would go down even all the way into Ukraine.
Everyone did that back then, though.
Yeah, but the Norwegian ones went all the way to Ukraine.
Yeah, and also I'm not
made a city.
I'm also not saying that that's okay either. I don't, just because I say like, oh, everyone did it back then. I'm not excusing that behavior. I'm just saying, I'm a rape apologist.
Are you a rape apologist though? Okay.
No.
All right.
Oh God. Yeah. Jana says it could have been good, but it was just stupid.
Yeah. It really didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. we basically just sat there watching it for whatever 2 hours and just like, what was this?
Yeah, I'm not getting down.
Like there could have been cool action, and there wasn't.
The last cool Viking thing I saw was it was a series that was made in Scandinavia. No, it was a television series that was made in Scandinavia, and I can't remember if it's on Netflix or not. It's on one of these streaming platforms, but I think I can't remember if it's just called Thor. Like it's not like a Marvel thing or anything like that. It's like a completely different take on like Norse mythology, and it's like about this teenage kid who like finds out he's like distant relative of Thor or some bullshit like that. Like the way that the storytelling and everything goes on in the film, it's tolerable. Not like how Marvel and like these other, like basically these other Viking things. It's basically Sons of Anarchy but with Vikings. It's like all these guys with the same haircuts and muscles and like their tattoos and shit.
Same thing, yeah.
It's just gay. Like it's too gay. Like you can't sell me on any of that shit.
No. Well, what about, remember that show that the guy from the Bruce Springsteen band in Sopranos?
Lilyhammer.
Yeah.
Lilyhammer kicked ass, dude. You're talking about Stevie Van Zandt, dude.
Yeah.
Where he's always just every episode. Yeah, dude, those lips, man. And as a guitar player, I don't know how he fucking plays guitar. He's got those fat little like Dago sausage fingers, like a midget. You know how midgets have like those uncomfortable cocktail weenie hands and fingers?
Well,
it's uncomfortable.
Is he really playing difficult things for Bruce Springsteen, though?
I mean, not technically difficult, no, but I mean like to play a guitar proficiently and be able to like switch between chords and stuff like that, his fingers just look unnatural because they're so fat and little.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's just weird because I've got like long, creepy fingers. I'm pretty sure I could like put my fingers under a door frame and flip them up and freak somebody out from the other side, you know?
Oh, that'd be so cool.
I've got like Slenderman hands. Yeah. It's really, I don't know. Not super big into well, I guess I am big into my hands. I fuck them every so often.
Yeah. You're a hand guy.
Well, after I worked out, like just the reason I was running late and I had to go get stupid grocery store sushi, I was working out right before the show and I had to shower and everything. I was like, I'm here. Might as well, while I'm in the shower, might as well just let one go in the drain and, you know, approach the show with a calm and cool, collected mentality. Because you know me, Adam.
A low T.
Yeah. I'm all about,
I got you.
I'm all about good vibes. I'm all about using the word vibes in a sentence.
Oh, yeah. I would agree with that. Just putting them out there. Yeah,
exactly. I'm also really into jumping off of high buildings onto concrete.
Oh.
And killing myself.
Okay. Yeah, good.
Because I think vibes are cool.
Yeah. The latter might be the better option for you.
Well, I have to use one to get up onto the building, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chill.
Chill. This is a slow burn. Hi, Kyle. Hi, Kyle. How are you, sir? Kyle says, what is even on Peacock? The U.S. office is the only thing I can think of. The only streaming service I have been considering lately is Paramount Plus. I'll give you my Paramount Plus login. I already gave it to Robbie and Mr. Canasto on Xbox Live. I might as well share it with one other person. I'll keep sharing it until it doesn't let me add anyone else to it.
Yeah, the password is NIG.
Oh. Okay. Well, you didn't even let me get my finger on the beep. Yeah, hit me up after the show, Kyle, and I'll fire off those credentials. Let's see. Janice says Peacock has The Office, Brooklyn 999, and I watched new Firestarter today. Yeah, I don't know any of that. I know The Office. I know Brooklyn 999.
Oh, is there a Firestarter like series? It's not a Prodigy song.
I'm the dick he's tasted, sucking a bunch of dudes off.
I think that guy's dead, isn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, the vocalist.
Yeah.
You don't know his name? I think it's Keith something. I don't know it either. Whatever, dude.
Amateur.
Big Prodigy fan. I don't know all their names. I hate that shit. I hate when I'm like, because there's so many bands I'm into, and like as a musician, you're just gonna love a bunch of different types of shit all together and stuff. So I fucking hate, especially when it's someone who doesn't play an instrument or doesn't like create any music of their own or something. Whenever they're like, oh, what's your favorite song? Or, oh, who's your favorite member? Or, oh, I really like so-and-so's playing. And if I'm like, oh, who's that? And they're like, the drummer from the band we're talking about. I'm like, get the fuck out of my face with that shit. Dude, I listen to like 100,000 bands. You expect me to remember their stupid names? I don't have time for that shit.
I only listen to Viagra Boys, and I don't know any of their names. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have a new track out, by the way. It's pretty funny. The music video is really funny.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's really funny. It's literally just the vocalist. He's walking around an old Western town, and he's like doing really like gay shit with like 6-shooters and stuff. He's just firing them blindly, like Alec Baldwin around this set.
He's an edge.
Yeah, no,
I like him.
Yeah, he's something else, man. He's like an American-born dude who moved to Sweden to start a band.
Yeah, really weird. Like everyone else is like Swedish or Norwegian or
Scandinavian.
Yeah, Scandinavian, and then he guy over there.
Mm-hmm. They doing all right for themselves, though. They doing all right.
They're playing trumpets and saxophones and
saxophones. There's no trumpets. It's not a fucking ska
there's not a
band.
trumpet?
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't listen to him if there was. I'm a strict, like, unless you're like a old school using heroin jazz musician, I'm not listening to a trumpet. You got to be like Dizzy Gillespie or something cool like that. Like I don't fuck with trumpets. That was the first instrument I ever learned to play. Wasn't into it back then. Not into it now. I don't even really like the way they sound.
How hard is it to play a trumpet?
I mean, once you get breath control under your belt and like some dexterity in your fingers, it's really not that bad. And the sheet music's not super hard to understand either.
Well, it's like 3 buttons, but you can move them like in 3 levels? Like
there's so many combinations, dude.
Is there?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean you can play anything on it. So naturally, there's going to be a shitload of different combinations that make different tones and stuff. But I couldn't play one now if I tried. Like you have to really stay up on that shit because you have to blow into it a certain way with your lips. You have to like, there's a lot of breath control and shit at play there. And then you got your spit valve. You got to release the spit that builds up in it, and it smells like shit. And then like there's a little mini slide at the front, like underneath the main like horn part of it that everyone like that flares out that everyone would know a trumpet by the look of. That slides forward and backward, so that can do weird shit to your tone as well. So there's different songs that call for using that thing.
Oh, you have to adjust that slightly.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so yeah, learning that whole instrument, because I did that for a couple of years, and I like as a germaphobe, even as a kid back then, I've never liked my hands to be dirty. I've never liked to be around germs and shit like that. But we had a carpeted band room, obviously, because you don't want sound bouncing around like that. And so all day long, all fucking day, all these different classes in and out of this classroom, blasting spit valves on the carpet. And then there were times where, you know, we would just be bullshitting around, like we would finish everything and there'd just be idle time in the class or something like that. And then there's all these kids just laying around on the floor and like fucking like touching the floor, putting their stuff on the floor. Like it was so gross. It was so fucking gross, dude. I'd never look back once I put down that instrument.
That's why I was percussion.
Yeah. I tried to switch to percussion, but after 2 years of middle school band, the teacher was like, I'm not going to just put you on a different, like start you out at level 1 on a fucking drum set.
Yeah. I mean, well, I guess, you could do a bunch of different stuff in percussion. You could.
Well, I didn't help my case.
Do the triangle.
Well, I didn't help my case. I was like, you're literally just tapping on shit. And the teacher was like, okay, you don't appreciate percussion. You need to get out of the fucking room. Yeah. She ended up giving my trumpet away. Yeah, dude.
What do you mean?
She so my leaving the band and everything like that, she didn't take it well. I wasn't nice in that class. Like I was such a cunt, dude. I was always last chair. And I would always challenge like first or second chair. Well, no, I would, it's on purpose. I would challenge first or second chair, get the chair, and then whoever was next to me, whoever really sucked, who was like second to last chair, like real life last chair, they would challenge me, and I would always lose to him. I would fucking throw it. I would go right back to last chair, dude. And she fucking hated me for it. And so
you were throwing.
Yeah, I was throwing matches. Yeah, dude. And I did it consistently. Well, I did it. I've been a troll my entire life, dude. Like
that's kind of tight. That's kind of tight. Actually.
Yeah, I love like that. I love trolling my teachers. I have teachers from my past that I'm still cool with because they had good sense of humor when I was a kid. Like I would do shit like that, and some teachers would be like, all right, I get what this kid's doing. This is actually, all right, today's not a normal day. Today's kind of a fucking cool day. And they wouldn't be a dick to me. Like, because that shit made the kids laugh. Like me fucking throwing chair matches and stuff every week. Like the whole fucking class would erupt in laughter and I'd get fucking scolded.
My music teacher was intense.
Like the Whiplash teacher?
Like he
State
yelled
Farm
a
guy.
lot. Like every
Really?
day he yelled a lot.
About what?
I don't know. Like, oh, this section didn't come in on time, or this section,
Yeah.
just what he's yelling a lot.
Taking it too seriously.
Yeah, I won't say his name because it's a unique name. You could probably Google it.
What is it?
I'm not saying it.
I know. I feel you. When I told that story about the computer teacher I had jacking off in class, getting caught with porn on his computer, dude, his name, even if I said one part of it, like everyone's going to know what it is.
You could probably, you could Google it. It's so unique.
Without a doubt. And I think he was in the military as well. And like, he was just in the school system for a long time. So like, it's going to pop up. You type in one part of that name and then like Myrtle Beach. Yep. See, Agent D-Bone in the chat. He already doxed him. I went to school with Agent D-Bone in case anyone's wondering. Agent D-Bone's going to know about some of these stories. Let's see.
That was a Mad TV character, wasn't it?
Miss Swan, yeah. You're looking like a man.
Was that her husband?
Yeah.
Wait, she was doing Asian face.
Yeah.
And she was a Jew.
But see, that's the thing. When you're part of the tribe, you don't get in trouble.
The tribe gets away with everything, basically.
You don't get in trouble. They're not technically. They're a very persecuted people, Adam. That's what you need to understand, number one. Number two, you're a racist. And number three, you're a cisgendered male. So you're not going to know anything about a single fucking thing on planet Earth.
Yeah, the tribe slips through the cracks.
Tribe Called Quest.
Better than the other tribe.
Yeah, big time. Midnight Marauders. Also, bless up Fife Dog. Bless up. Fife Dog. Bless up. He was really nice to when I played guitar in that hip hop band. He was like really all about our music and shit. He was super cool. And Jerobi from Tribe Called Quest, also very, very nice dude, super supportive, and loves music. All those guys. Bless up.
They were like the same era as like Tali Kweli, like
Black Star and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, they came. All those guys I feel like were on the scene around the same time, like late 80s, early 90s type shit. Into the
all
early
good
2000s.
stuff, by the way. Like,
yeah, God, yeah. I mean, it fucking defined the genre.
Now it's trash, but
well, I mean, there's still some good stuff.
You drinking
out
a
there.
Sparks?
Yeah. Dude, do they even make Sparks still?
I think so, because my one neighbor that said he quit drinking years ago.
Never believed that.
Was drinking one.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, you didn't quit drinking. You're drinking an alcoholic beverage.
But it's an energy drink.
It's energy and alcohol. Like, okay.
Yeah, dog. No, I was a big Tilt guy. I didn't like Sparks because I've never really been a big citrus drink guy. And also Tilt, if I remember correctly, had more alcohol in it. And if you know anything about me and alcohol, that's what it took.
You didn't like Sprite?
No, dude, Sprite doesn't have alcohol in it. Not a big Sprite guy. Zero alcohol content in Sprite, so I never touched the stuff. No, and I didn't want to dirty up my body by drinking soda, Adam. Soda's terrible for you.
I kind of like a little Sprite, you know?
Yeah, I know you do. It's not all you like. Let's see. Kyle says, I try to teach myself harmonica. It's difficult because the little holes are small. Harmonica is all breath control too, dude. Like you get a good rhythmic cadence with your breath, like learn different time signatures with your breath. You'd surprise yourself. You'll surprise yourself on a harmonica.
Well, once upon a midnight Leary, I walked with something in my hand.
Shut up and go find your pop filter. Put a sock over your mic or something, dude. I can hear how nervous you are. Adam's got flop sweats right now because he's.
I don't know where it is.
Adam's like, oh my God, 8 people are watching right now.
Well, I just moved it, and it was gone. I don't know where the.
I'm telling you right now, one of your cats is dancing around the house wearing it like a yarmulke.
That'd be kind of cool.
It'd be cool.
But I didn't see any cats with it. Probably one of my dogs ate it or something.
Jana says that her music teacher from 5th and 6th grade ended up being a pedophile. You spelled pedophile wrong too, Jana. It's Pedo. Ask me how I know.
Well, you are what you eat.
Well, I hear Adam get called it all the time. I figured I'd probably learn how to spell it. Agent D-Bone says we had one history teacher that was a Chippendale, allegedly. That's kind of cool. We had this really hot math teacher. I don't remember if I've told you this or not.
Does D-Bone remember Mints?
Mints?
Mints, Mints in South Carolina.
What are you talking about?
It was a strip club.
Where in South Carolina? Me and Agent
Myrtle
D-Bone.
Beach. Yeah.
Me and
But
Agent,
you never remembered it. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know about that shit. Agent D-Bone throwing down the names of some hot teachers now in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so Agent D-Bone, Miss Bunn, she was this really hot math teacher we had in middle school. During a parent-teacher conference, my fucking mom told her how hot I thought she was. And I was like in 6th grade. I was like, Mom, are you fucking out of your mind?
what's your intern mommy doing, dude? Why is she doing
She's
that?
probably listening, hanging back, being low-key in the chat. She's probably surveying the chat. I'm going to turn my light on, too, so you guys can see my beautiful face.
I can see you.
It's not about you.
Oh.
It's about the adoring public and what they deserve to see. Actually, I don't know if I like that lighting.
It's not that good. I mean, yeah, with it off,
That's better.
We can see you. We can see you again.
Oh, jeez Louise. Yes, she did. Yes, she had a hot assistant as well. But no, so there was in high school, there was another math teacher, if I'm remembering correctly. There was a very hot math teacher in high school. And Agent D-Bone, you know who I'm talking about. And I don't know if you've ever heard this story before. I hope you enjoy it. I think I've told it here before, but just in case. Super hot math teacher, immaculate ace. We find out over a summer, like, and this is like, I think this was right before we graduated. Like, I was already out of this particular high school and I was like at the academy or something like that at this point. But it's like 2 a.m. on a Saturday. So no school, no nothing like that. 2 a.m. We are jumping on the trampoline. It's me, Skylar, our friend Neil, and I'm sure there was more people there because like we used to hang out in a fairly sizable group back then. But we're jumping on the trampoline 2 a.m. We see this red Mustang pull up in front of Skylar and I's ex-girlfriend's house because she lived right across the street from Skylar. And she had this older brother who lived there who was in his, like, I think mid-20s at the time or something like that. Anyway, this red Mustang pulls up 2 a.m. and we're all looking at each other like, there's no way that's her. Because we all knew that this bitch drove red Mustang. She gets out of the car looking around like nervous and shit. And so my friend Neil is like, hey, Miss So-and-so, what's up? And she like looks over and she's just mortified because she's like, yo, half my fucking class is sitting on a trampoline at 2 a.m. staring me down. And also she knows she's hot. She knows she's fucking like, she knows she's fucking banging and whatnot. And like, she knew that like the kids were always staring at her ass and stuff. But like,
how was she?
A solid 8. Solid 8. And in high school too, like when all your teachers are fucking jalopies. Yeah. Oh, nice. We'll talk about that, D-Bone. But so anyway, she gets out of the car. She's looking around. She's mortified. This scumbag older brother grabs her. Like, he comes out front. They walk around to the side of the house, and we hear the shed door close. And it's like one of these shitty old, like, sheet metal sheds with a metal door. We hear it slide shut. And we're like, there's no way he just took her back in this shed to fuck her. And so, being the creeps that we were, and knowing that we weren't going to be charged as adults if we trespassed on property and stuff like that, we ended up going into Skylar's other neighbor's yard who's directly next to this guy, and we get through the bushes right up on the shed. And sure enough, this bitch is getting railed out in the shed at 2 a.m. by this scumbag dude who lives at his parents' house with his little sister and whatnot.
That's kind of hot.
It is now, thinking about it. It is totally. If you're the guy doing the banging.
Yeah, if you're the teacher, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, so check this out. My friend Neil, my friend Neil again,
DeGrasse Tyson.
inserting himself into the issue, or inserting himself into the proceedings. He takes like, I couldn't remember if it was like rocks or a big stick or something, but he like whips it as hard as he could against the side of this shitty metal shed, and it made this really loud, like super loud bang. We go running across the yard, and we're hiding behind Skylar's mom's car or something like that. And we're not doing a good job. You know, there's a bunch of us. We're not doing a good job. So we see her like scurrying to the car, and the dude's like, God damn it, these fucking kids, dude, I fucking had it. And he's like swearing and shit. She gets in her car and peels off, right? And he's like, you guys are fucking assholes. And like, she came over, we saw her do that one more time, and we did the same thing, and then she just stopped going over there altogether.
Why wouldn't he just go to her place?
I don't know. That's a good point. Unless maybe she was cheating.
Ooh.
2 a.m. That's weird time for a rendezvous, man. Like
it is.
Why are you going to get fucked in a shed at 2 a.m?
Good question. Like women teachers are freaks, I think, dude.
Yeah. There's, especially whenever they're like middle school, high school teachers, like, there's something going on, because that's not the only instance that I could refer to, but without defaming people close to me, I can't do it. So like, I gotta let those stories die with time. Agent D-Bone says we paintballed her house, I think, and I think we got Rick's house too. Billy made me do it. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, because my house, Skylar's house, and Billy's house, we were all part of the neighborhood wars that I had started with my friend Neil. There was this whole thing, and it spanned the time span of like months, when we were like age. I think we actually know it, because it would have been a couple of seasons. This happened for a while, like over the span of a couple of years then. But the neighborhood wars were bad. Like I marched into my friend Billy's house one time, and he was like doing a stationary manual on a skateboard in his bedroom in front of a bunch of girls. And so like, I didn't know that that's what he was doing. Like, I went over there to throw Twinkies at him because I was trying to start some shit. And so I went over there, and I had a bunch of mushed up Twinkies in my hand, and I fucking walk into his bedroom. I see him doing a fucking manual stationary in the middle of his room, and a bunch of chicks watching him do it. And I was like, yo, Bill. And he turns around, and I just fucking pied his face with these Twinkies, and he fell off the board. And so he scrambles up and comes busting down the hallway, and I was way faster than a lot of the kids, and like I was way faster than my friend Neil. I blasted through my friend Neil, and I hear Billy tackle Neil into the bush, and I hear Neil yell, "Don't do it! We've been friends for years." And he's pummeling Neil for a minute, and then he lets him go, and then he's like, "I'm coming for you, Rick." And so him and a bunch of neighborhood kids came marching down the street to Skylar's house, because he knew that's where we were hanging out on the weekends and shit. And Skylar and I were already ready for his ass. We were up on top of the roof with fucking Twinkies and like eggs and shit. And then they came down. They had a bunch of like condoms with like syrup, like chocolate syrup and water and molasses, and like some of them pissed in them. There's like piss condoms. And so it was like midnight. We have this giant falling out in the middle of the street where Skylar and I are throwing Twinkies and food and all kinds of shit from off the top of his roof. And then everyone on the ground's throwing condoms and all kinds of crazy shit.
Why Twinkies?
So Billy's dad had come into possession of a fuckload of Twinkies. He would always get a ton of milk that was about to expire in like little milk cartons, the ones that you get from school.
Yeah.
He'd get crates of those, and then get like a bunch of, like, every once in a while it'd be something like Twinkies or some other bullshit, you know what I mean? And so Skylar and I just had a bunch of Twinkies because he'd give them to his friends and shit. So we were like, let's just use these Twinkies against him. And so we had this giant plastic tote full of Twinkies, and so we used them as ammunition, and they used condoms.
I don't know if I ever really had a Twinkie.
They suck, dude. They fucking suck. We knew they sucked back then, so we used them as weapons.
I don't think I ever actually ate a Twinkie. Like,
you're not missing anything, dude. They fucking blow.
But they're supposed to survive a nuclear holocaust.
Agent D-Bone says Rick got Billy's house too, to be clear, and those chicks were gross. Yeah, Billy's house girls were not known for being very hot at all. So yeah, that whole thing happened, and we just kept ramping it up. Like even when we weren't home, we knew our house would get hit. My house would get hit. And like my parents have no idea. And Skylar's parents for a little while didn't have any idea until one day his dad was picking us up from the mall and we pulled into the driveway. And like as we're pulling around the corner to go to his house, his carport's on the other side of his house. Skylar's entire roof and his big ass tree in his front yard was just glowing. And when you get up on it, you saw that it was a bunch of fucking condoms with glow sticks in them that were made like water balloons. So it was like glowing dicks all over his house and tree. And I remember him turning around and looking at us in the backseat going, yo, you boys want to fucking let me know why my house is covered in glowing dicks?
So, yeah.
So we told him, we told him about the neighborhood war and stuff like that. He was like, as long as you guys clean it up and nothing gets like broken and no one gets hurt, I don't really give a fuck. Like, and so my house got paintballed and egged and all kinds of shit. And my dad would just go outside with a hose and be like, I remember there was one night where my buddy Cody threw an egg and it broke one of my, it cracked one of my living room windows. And my dad was like, all right, this bullshit stops today. And so I called all my friends and I was like, yo, we can't hit my house anymore. And I like made sure that it was cool that I still participated, because I was like, now that my house is off limits, I like don't feel like you have to have something on the line. You know what I mean?
You do, but once a window gets cracked, that's expensive. That's the parents get involved.
Yeah. It wasn't cool. It wasn't a cool time for me. But I had it coming, dude, because like I had Skylar and I started weaponizing condoms too. So I went into Skylar's kitchen. Both of his parents are fantastic chefs and bakers and stuff like that. So they always had a ton of ingredients. Oh. No, okay. No, and that's another thing. We always had a bunch of condoms because our friends stole from Walmart and they just jack a bunch of condoms and stuff thinking, you know, you're 14, 15 years old. You're not fucking at all. And so so your condoms are just being used to mess with your friends. So we always had condoms too. Condoms, Twinkies, and milk. And so anyway, started filling up these condoms with like syrup and hot sauce and pissing in them and like all kinds of stuff. And I made a couple of good, you know, piss and hot sauce condoms. Well, anyway, I catch Billy lacking in the streets, dude. He ain't got shit on him and he's by himself. And I'm like, oh, word up. So I come running down the street with a condom in my hand full of like piss and hot sauce and syrup and stuff. And I even yell out too. I was like, I got you now. And he fucking darts into his house. And he goes to slam the door because I'm right on his ass. And so I fucking toss the condom. And like the condom does this stupid like over-under move. It gets halfway into the door frame before the door catches it and blasts it inside of his house. And I go running back to Skylar's parents' house, right? And
you might have done the perfect throw.
Accidentally, because I certainly didn't mean for that to happen. And I also didn't know, this was unbeknownst to me, Billy's parents had just bought brand new fucking white leather sectional couches. They were like, it was a huge fucking like ensemble of furniture and it was nice. And this condom blasted all over an entire section of it.
I feel like I didn't see a sectional couch until I became an adult. Well, maybe I just hung around with I was just poor. Like, I guess, I don't know.
I was poor too, but that's the thing is
I never saw a sectional couch.
Well, no, think of it this way though. Like the reason I saw that was because it was from the classic thing that keeps us poor. Like when you're poor, if you want to stay poor, buy shit you don't need. Buy some status shit to put in your house that doesn't match up with the shit you're putting in it. Have you ever been to a house like that where it's shitty on the outside?
For sure.
It's like these
couch
fools,
flex.
It's like fools who put like 22s on an 88 Monte Carlo or something like that has sunspots on it. You know what I mean? Or like a Chrysler LeSabre with fucking rims on it. It's like, get out of here.
Yeah, I just never saw a sectional. Like I didn't know they existed. Like this is pretty tight. Like
I think you saw plenty of them. You just kind of blacked it out of your memory because of what was happening to you on them.
I think so, but like more than two people could sit on a couch.
Yeah, dude. Well, at that house,
holy shit.
But that's the thing is that house was like a flop house. Like you could go there, hang out one weekend and like ditch school and just be there for a week. Like just sleep on the couch when you wanted to. You come and go as you please. There's no knocking. There was like always like 20, 30 kids there all the time. You know, his older brother is always like in and out of jail. getting caught for like funny stuff. He's the dude that I was talking about. I told this story years ago. The guy that got arrested at the cemetery because he was trying to fit a bong stem into a skull. He had dug up a skull or whatever and got arrested because he was trying to turn it into a bong.
Is he like an edgelord or something?
No, he's just dumb and like always doing drugs and shit. Like that's the thing too, is I caught him sober a couple of times. Like if you talk to him sober and shit, he wasn't like a mean dude or anything like that. Like I had never had an issue with him, but like he just couldn't stop being fucked up.
Like on what drugs?
Everything, like heroin, meth, like all the bad ones, and then drinking a ton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, it was not cool. He had a
bad mixture.
He had a cool ass Mustang for a while. He had this gray like Mustang that was badass.
What's with you and Mustangs, by the way?
I don't know. It's just a recurring
you got Mustang
thing.
stories.
Yeah. I think ever since I came to terms with my own sexuality, I was like, maybe I could be a Mustang guy.
Were they 5.0
Mhm.
Mustangs? Remember that was big?
The 5.0.
Like the 5.0 Mustang. Oh,
yeah, because Rob Van Winkle made this popular with his song, "Ice Ice Baby."
Oh, did Rip Van Winkle do that?
It wasn't Rip Van Winkle.
Oh
God, dude, my ass.
he
is
lives in
getting
Colorado
sweaty.
Springs.
Who does?
Rob Van Winkle.
Oh, that's some. You would know that. I feel like when you first moved to Colorado, you're like, "How am I going to fit in with my peers?" You start Googling 10 things you didn't know about Colorado, and you're like, Rob Van Winkle.
No, he lives down there, and then also Dog the Bounty Hunter lives down there. By the way,
Still.
well, he was a Hawaii guy.
Well, if he's in the Springs, that makes sense because he's like an outspoken racist.
The Springs is like kind of a trash place, by the way.
Well, that's where
It's
all
a
the
bit
racists
of a wild
are.
trash place. Like it gets wild down there. It's like meth and just craziness down the coast. And there's really nice places down there, but it gets a little wild.
Yeah, tell me about it, dude. I was down there first week in Colorado. That's where I stayed for a week, and fucking I was bombing hills on ripsticks at 40 miles an hour, getting fucked up. I don't know how I didn't go to the hospital after that shit. That was like
you were staying with what's his name's parents.
With Chad, yeah. Chad also would know all these people that I'm talking about.
I wonder where Chad is now.
I think he's still in Colorado. Or no, I think he's in Chicago. I asked Skylar recently. I was like, how the fuck is he doing? I haven't talked to him in so long. But yeah, dude, that was a crazy house. Crazy times over at Billy's house. Crazy times growing up in my neighborhood, dude. We would do shit like that every week, man. And then like as soon as we started driving, we would do things called night riding. And Billy's house was always a big target for that. Like one time, the guy that I'm talking about, the drug addict guy, we would always go by Billy's house, and it would be the last thing we would do for the night. We would always do one big thing to close out the night. And that was either go egg my friend Phil's house or go egg Billy's house. And
so you had to do one big thing, and it was just two options.
Two options of doing the same thing. Yes. And then we always videotaped it. Like I had an old camcorder that my dad had sold me for like as much as he paid for it.
Twice what he paid for it.
Yeah. And so like I would always carry this video. I always had a camouflage bandana, a video camera, and nunchucks. Those are like my night riding shit, because I was like,
what are you gonna do with nunchucks? By the way,
I'm really good at nunchucks. Are you kidding me? You've never seen me use nunchucks?
I have. They're very practical.
I use nunchucks. Yes, they are. Are you kidding me? You've never fought with nunchucks then. Nunchucks keep people at bay. If they have a knife or something, dude, you pop them in the fucking hand with a nunchuck, or you sweep low and catch them in the knee or the shin. That's a fight ender. You know how many times I've gotten out of having my ass stomped in because I had nunchucks on me? I'd rather have nunchucks than a knife.
Bang.
Well, again, none of the examples I just used were guns. It was people either trying to fight me or like stab me. Okay? Obviously, a gun's going to win against nunchucks, literal Adam.
Well, yeah, that's funny.
Hey, why don't you go tell some interesting stories about your life? Oh, and there it is.
Justin Trudeau just banned guns in Canada.
This is a man who's got nothing to give. Got nothing to live for.
Look it up, people.
But yeah, dude, we would egg Billy's house, and then yeah, dude, his brother there would come busting out of the house, in his underwear, all hopped up on methamphetamines. He'd chase the car we were in all the way down the street. And I remember one time we popped the back hatch open because that's where our buddy Neil was sitting. And we would let this guy get really close to the car and then keep driving. And Neil was like, "He's gonna fucking get me, dude."
I'd be scared too. I'd be like, "Oh my god."
Well, yeah, we would do this shit all the time. We got shot at. We got shot at a few times. There were so many times when we should have just gotten fucked up for doing what we were doing, dude.
Oh, definitely been shot at. Like,
yeah,
as a child.
Yeah, because you're fucking around.
Yeah. Fucking around trying to find out.
Yeah, dude. What's one of your getting shot at as a kid stories? Because this only happens when you grow up in certain areas, dude. Like rich kids will never understand the adrenaline rush you get from like being an asshole at 3 a.m. on the boulevard in Myrtle Beach and calling people racial slurs.
Yeah, I think we were coming back from watching that Eminem movie.
8 Mile.
Is that what? Okay, it's 8 Mile.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, and we saw. I think his name was Jose Dominguez. I can't remember his name, but he was another kid that went to school with us. And we were like, "Let's fuck this guy up," and he just pulled out. He started shooting. Like, oh, okay. He was a rebel too. Like he would always just smoke cigarettes in 8th grade, like like when we're young, like just cheap heaters. He would just be doing a heater, like right off the school property, like
dude. This kid's a problem.
He was a little bit of a problem.
He had a fucking.
He didn't hit anybody. So that was good.
He put it down though.
Yeah.
In his situation, I probably would have done the same thing. Like maybe shot over you guys' head or something, but let you know I have one.
Well, that was the only option you probably had because it was like 4 versus 1.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky, dude. You guys are lucky. He probably didn't try to hit you.
I don't think he did. He's kind of a nice guy, I think. I don't know why we were mean to him.
I was going to say, why were you trying to beat up this poor guy?
I don't know why we were mean to him. Like, yeah, he was actually kind of a nice dude. Like, kind of kept to himself. Maybe he was a psychopath because he probably just killed prostitutes or something.
Well, I mean, when you're that age, dude, you're not thinking. Like I have, there's guys that I know, like a lot of the people, most of the people that I knew growing up and going to school with and stuff like that, like I still stay in contact with to a certain degree. And so like there's certain people from my past where I'm like, why was I such a fucking dick? And then you realize like, oh, everybody was being a dick to this one person. And it's like, oh, you were just a fucking bully. Like you were just trying not to be in the crosshairs of anyone else. And so you were going along with it.
Yes, exactly. But there's like, you have so much hormones.
Yeah. Well, kids are they're just tribalists or tribally inclined, I guess. I don't know what I would call that.
Because
like Lord
the
of the
hormones,
Flies.
Like you're just being injected with hormones nonstop. You can't think straight ever.
I hated hormones as a teenager, dude. I mean, the first time I made out with a chick, I was like, I fucking hate hormones. Cause I was like, I had my ass sticking out cause I had a huge boner. Or I mean, I was like 13 or 14. There's not a huge boner going on. There's not a huge boner going on today, let alone back then. So I had a regular boner going on.
Limp boner.
Yeah, just a nice half boner. No.
But no, it's unexciting boner.
No, this was my first makeout session, and it was standing up, and it was like right down the street from my grandma's house, over by this like electrical substation. And so I'm making out with this chick, and I've got my ass out like I'm giving her a church hug or something because my dick is like poking out, and I'm not wearing like jeans or anything. I'm wearing like some thin ass pants. And because I used to skateboard and shit back then still. Like I skateboarded forever, like my entire life growing up and shit. And so I would always either wear like loose fitting shorts or like, stretchy pants or something like that. And so you can see the boner and I'm like, got my ass out. And I'm also a germaphobe. So I'm like not swallowing my spit. So as we're making out, there's just so much spit building up in my mouth. And I remember like having to be silent when I walked her the rest of the way to her house. She was trying to talk to me and I was holding all the spit in my mouth because I didn't want to swallow it. And I also didn't want to like spit it out in front of her and make her think like, oh, you're gross. I won't swallow your spit or something. A stupid teenage thought. And so I walked all the way to her house silently, hugged her, And she was like even asking me, she was like, why aren't you saying anything? And I was just like, and I just kept like putting my hand over my heart, being like, oh, like I was taken back by her kiss or something like that. And she just like smiled and let me off the hook. And I walked down the stairs and I doubled over and like spit all of, like just so much spit into her front yard. And then I remember talking to her the next day and being like, hey, are you okay? I saw you like throw up in my front yard. You all right? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. It must have been the pizza or something like that. Like I played it off, but like, dude, my first makeout session was so fucking uncomfortable and I hated hormones. I was like, why does this have to happen to me?
Yeah, I remember making out with this chick who's now actually a cop.
Who's now actually a guy.
She's an Italian broad that's a cop now.
Big booba?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Those Italian broads got big booba. Most of
and
the
her
time.
mom made great stuff, Shell.
Oh, of course she did, Adam.
And she never gave me the recipe. She said, no, it's a secret recipe.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck you, bitch.
Dude, even
But-
Italians with like Down syndrome can still cook.
Yeah, it was amazing. But and like I remember her friend Michelle Colicchio was also there, also Italian.
I was gonna say,
assuming by her
was
last
she
name.
Italian too?
Yeah, I remember making it, and I just had a broad. It was just I had shorts like just like regular shorts.
You can't be making out with shorts on, dude.
And it was just like sticky. It was just like a poke. It was just out there.
Yeah, that's rough, dude. That's really
And
rough.
like, well, I mean, but that's like when you're a kid, that's like tight, dude. Like, fuck.
Well, you're mortified. You're like, if anyone finds out I'm hard right now, I'm gonna lose my life.
Yes.
Dude, oh yeah, another thing that made it terrible was like I had just gotten my braces like a day or two before this makeout happened, so my mouth was on fire. Like it didn't even feel good.
Ooh, yeah. You just got the braces. That's bad on your teeth, dude.
Yeah.
It hurts.
I still regret that my first time having sex, I was wearing a condom. I feel like I should have.
Same here.
I mean, but you know, we were doing what we thought you were supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, like 3 days later, no condoms ever existed ever again.
Yeah.
But
I'll also say that my first time was like with a lambskin condom, so like it was way thinner and felt cool. So at least
I've
I
never
had
done
that.
one. I've never had sex with one.
Oh,
of those.
there's barely a difference. Barely a difference. It basically, the condom basically, it's so thin that it takes on the form of whoever's vagina you're entering. And it's just, I mean, it's perfectly lubed in and out. Like it's almost, it's if I absolutely gun to my head had to wear a condom, it would be that. But the caveat is that it does not protect against STDs, only pregnancy.
I think that's all condoms, isn't it?
No, dude, latex it protects against like HIV and everything.
No.
Baby girl.
Unless you're banging dudes. I mean, you're not getting HIV, but
Adam, that is just such
go in.
that
with
is
hot
just
take.
such a far right opinion.
Ask Easy.
Yeah. Easy. You just had a simple cold that snowballed into AIDS. That's how that
snowball.
happened. You got AIDS from snowballing.
Yeah, Easy was gay.
Woke up
Like,
quick,
I'm pretty sure he
sucked
was
a
gay.
fast dick.
There's some like documentary with him, like about him, not about him, but he was in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Dr. Dre's. It was mainly about Dr. Dre's like first girlfriend or wife or whatever.
Yeah.
And it portrayed him as being a very sweet guy to her, and like
Easy.
kind of
Yeah.
he's a
Like
fruit.
sweet. Like sweet.
Yeah, he was being a sweet, but also defending her. Dr. Dre kind of comes off as like an asshole.
Yeah, I mean,
he was kind of a douche, and he wasn't like a street guy. He was like
no, of course not. He was a sequin wearing DJ. Like
he was a fruity guy too.
Exactly. Have you ever seen old videos of Dr. Dre back in the 80s and stuff?
Yeah, he was a fruit.
He wore sequin doctor uniforms with like sequin gloves and a sequin doctor's mask. Like he was wearing masks way before the pandemic. And he would like and he would do turntables and shit, and like it would be like that. do? Like just like dancing and breakbeat music, and he would be like doing these fruity dances on the stage and shit, and like popping and locking.
Yeah, I think he's probably gay too. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone's gay.
well, he'd like
You're
beat
gay.
this chick up all the time.
I mean, what did she do?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she probably
Let's
spoke out
not-
of turn
well-
multiple times, but
Well, if we've learned anything from Amber Heard, it's that we need to start believing males. We need to start believing men when they
believe all men.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm getting at. It's our body, it's our choice, ladies. So hands off.
Well, believe all men.
Yeah. Let's see. Agent D-Bone says, "What is that camera angle?" I'm gonna guess you're talking about Adam, because you can, as always, as the episode is progressing, you see less and less of him, and now it's even starting to eat into his chin.
Oh yeah, no, I was reclining in this chair. It's
Adam doesn't want anyone to see his nipple rings on camera.
yeah,
Poking, or no
I got
one
the
wants.
same ones that what's his name, the New York mayor had that got fired.
That was a sick joke.
Well, don't you remember that guy? Like,
no.
he was wearing a shirt, and it was like it looked like he had nipple rings.
Oh no, I don't remember that.
Okay.
I mean, you even wear these novelty shirts. Like, what's the point of wearing these novelty shirts if you're not going to show them off?
Well, I kind of agree with you. Like, I got to get like maybe put something.
I have a camera mount that costs. Well, actually, I have several tripods, but I have like if you go on Amazon, they make desk mounted thing. You've seen the shit that I use.
Yeah.
Do you want me to send you the link?
No, yeah. I mean, that's fine. Maybe I'll put something up here and then just mount it up there.
Mm-hmm. Kyle says, "Whatever, who cares? Dre makes fire beats. That's all that matters." Actually, he doesn't. He has a lot of ghost producers and ghost writers for all. He actually never wrote his lyrics either. He has a ton of producers and engineers that make his beats that he mass produces and sells to different artists.
Swiss Beats.
Don't.
Great producer.
Okay,
by
I
the
was
way.
gonna say, don't you defame Swiss Beats.
No, Swiss Beats was hot.
All
He
right.
always had good fucking
Yeah.
beats.
I also liked anything Swishahouse. All those,
Okay.
any Mike Jones beat. I love Timberland. Timberland always was the man. You know, any Petey Pablo beat was fucking fire. Yeah, it's some
North Carolina.
that dirty South shit, dude. A lot of
Chopped
guys
and
out of
screwed.
a lot of Memphis music too, dude. A lot of Memphis hip hop kicks ass.
I only walk in Memphis, so
Walking on Memphis, sucking a guy's dick, fucking in Memphis. Getting AIDS in Memphis. Oh fuck, dude. Kyle says he can stay in the closet if he wants to. His wife actually does look like a trans woman.
I believe it.
Dude, have you seen Ice-T's kid? Ice-T has a baby that looks like a trans man, dude.
Well, his wife had $100,000 of plastic surgery.
Yo, she is fucked
to
up,
look
dude.
to look like a 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, she's dating a fucking 1.
yeah, with a lisp.
Yeah, dude. I mean, how bad do her genetics have to be to where like she gives birth to a kid
Coco.
and it only looks like Ice-T? You cannot
Her name's
tell.
Coco, I think, right?
Yes, and you cannot tell that kid came from her at all.
Yeah, that's
That kid came out
that's
with
no bueno.
no. That kid came out with the same like goldfish eyes and shit, looking silly.
Yeah,
Yo, mom, I'm hungry. Whip out them tits.
they live in Hoboken, or at least they did.
Mm-hmm.
I remember just going to Hoboken, because my buddy who worked for Goldman Sachs,
Yeah.
I feel like lived
Good
I
guys
think he
over there
lived-
at Goldman Sachs.
terrible guys, and I told him at the time.
Yeah.
But Ishan, he was an Indian dude, worked at Goldman Sachs.
Oh, you have
But-
no problem fucking doxing the Indians.
I mean, yeah, but I didn't give you his last name.
Speaking of Indians, I realize like we're almost an hour into the show. I haven't gotten to a single thing I put in the description. I might have to change the description. I'll save all this shit for next week. We're having too much fun.
Well, we're sucking in Memphis.
Yeah. We're fucking him, man.
And in Hoboken.
Yeah. it's Fucking,
Hoboken's a wild place, by the way.
fucking dudes up in Hoboken.
If you're ever near New York, go to Hoboken and just get wild.
Get wild. What do you mean by that?
Well, go instead of going to the bars in Manhattan,
Yeah.
take the Patron under the Hudson and go to Hoboken and just go to the bars there.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like it's a wild place,
I'd be down
but
for
it's
some shit like that.
yeah, Hoboken's kind of a cool place.
Kyle's from Jersey, I think, originally, or he's got a bunch of family there.
Oh, he's not trying to be a North Bergen guy.
No, he said North Jersey sucks.
Yeah, Bergen County.
He said North Jersey looks like a trans woman. Adam looks like a trans woman. Oh, he says no, his mom is. Right on. Big Kevin Smith guy, are you?
Yeah. Well, Kevin Smith, I think, was a Red Bank guy.
Yeah.
Which Red Bank is a beautiful town.
Yeah.
We're keeping it local here, I get.
I was gonna say I might follow the chat's lead. Agent D-Bone's like, tell more childhood stories. We're over here breaking down the geography of Jersey. Like anyone gives a fuck.
Oh, call Bruce Springsteen.
Have you ever
Jersey.
Have you ever seen The Garden State?
I hate Bruce Springsteen.
Zach Braff. No, I mean, dude.
Oh, Garden State. That movie was trash.
I never watched it. I like the Postal Service, like the band.
I love Postal Service for sure.
Yeah, and because they were featured in that movie, I hate Zach Braff. I don't like seeing his face. I hate everything about him. So like I tried to watch Scrubs, couldn't do it.
You didn't want no Scrubs.
No. Scrubs is a guy that can't get no love from me.
Wow.
Yeah. Because the Scrub isn't. Oh, let's see. You guys ever go to church? No. No, I mean, I grew up going to church. That's actually where I learned to be kind of a shit ass.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, going to church and also joining the newspaper in high school. I learned how to be like top level troll, asshole, mischievous ninja. That's how I would have described myself as a teenager. I think a lot of people that went to school with me would have said the same. Like that's a mischievous ninja who's probably going to go to jail shortly after graduation, which I did.
Yeah. Church is where you like, oddly enough, like when you're a kid, you get rowdy.
Yeah. Well, that's the place to do it.
We also find like the chicks that are like sluts.
Yeah.
Like the chicks that go to church are sluts, by the way.
I have to say,
Call it,
like
people.
where I went, like I had to go to, I didn't go to like actual Sunday church. My parents made me do every Wednesday after school. We'd have to go to the church. Like I was raised Catholic. We'd go to the Catholic church and there was a Catholic school attached to it. And so every Wednesday I have to go to this thing called CCD. And that's basically Sunday school, but it happened on a Wednesday after real school. And so I'd have to go there for like an hour or so every Wednesday. And I had to do that from the time I was in like kindergarten until the end of 8th grade when you get confirmed. So it's just indoctrination. And my entire class, dude, give or take 4 or 5 kids, we were shit asses. Trolling like a mug, dude. Asking questions that we ain't had no damn business asking. Well, actually, no, questions that we did have business asking, but that they were not prepared to answer.
Yeah, I remember during confirmation, they brought in a young priest.
That's weird.
Yeah, well, the other
were they shuffling other priests around at that time?
Yeah, well, no, they weren't.
It was a Catholic deck shuffling.
They brought he was a handsome dude, actually.
I knew Adam was gay.
But yeah,
did you fuck him?
No,
did you suck his cock?
Brought him in but like we had to do confirmation.
Show me how you sucked his cock.
No, he probably would. By the way, how weird! Like thinking now, like how weird it was.
Yeah.
Like he was like if you masturbate, you've sinned and all this stuff. Like,
oh, whatever. He's probably like an ex-addict or something. I feel like
something was weird.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? Like, you might be. I don't know. He told this weird story of like this chick he was friends with, like was dying of cancer, and like,
oh no.
Like, he prayed. He would always pray for her to get better, and then when she was in the hospital once. He prayed that she just fucking died because she was so bad, and like how you must like I don't know.
Oh,
it was
she
a
died?
weird fucking scene. And she did die. Yeah, obviously she had cancer. She had terminal cancer.
No, I mean in that story, like, did he pray that she died, and she died like a second after he was done praying? Like,
cool.
well, I was just gonna say, it's like, I don't know. I'm like, where's this story going? Because it sounds like this guy's just full of nonsense.
Yeah, he kind of was like, but they're like, yeah, they'd bring in these heavy hitters, like for confirmation.
Yeah,
and
they fly the bishop in.
They did.
Yeah, they always fly a bishop in. They flew the bishop in. He had the big pimp cane and shit.
Yep.
That was hard.
And then, bizarrely enough, years later, my mom sends me that article. I think I sent it to you. Like, that the priest that was at the church, like, which was dead. He's dead.
Yeah.
But, like, fucked a bunch of kids, like, just raped a bunch of kids.
Well, I guess he had the last laugh.
Like, and he, we all thought he was retiring.
Yeah.
Well, I think it wasn't about retirement. They're like, you got to get out of here because you got to run, dude.
So he never got in any trouble?
Kids. No. Nope.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Just, he died at like 80 something. Like, just, he fucked a bunch of kids. Like, just crazy. Like,
well, needless to say, I think everyone at this point knows our stance on religion and things of that nature. The minute I was done with confirmation, that was it for me. I was like, I didn't even want to get confirmed, but my mom was like, oh, your grandma really wants to see it happen and stuff. And I'm like,
yep.
All right.
I had teachers that were like excited about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I got like cards and stuff from my teachers.
Yeah. Dude, did you ever go to school with the ashes on your forehead and have to explain that shit to your classmates?
Never had to explain it.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, after a year or so, like, I mean, when you're really young, the first time you ever have to go into school and you have the fucking ashes, and it's like you and maybe a handful of other kids have the ashes on your forehead, and it's like, all right, well, we're all sticking close. We're all watching each other's six today.
The only kids who didn't have ashes on their head were the black kids. The Puerto Ricans did it. The white kids. Oh yeah,
I didn't think about that. Yeah, where you grew up, there's probably a lot of Catholics.
Yeah, and the Jews. The Jews obviously didn't do it.
Right. Yeah, that was another thing growing up. Like, I had to this day, I have a lot of Jewish friends, and I just remember, like, especially in 6th grade, like the beginning of middle school, like we always stuck really close together because, like, it was like I was part of like a really nerdy crew and like, but was still down to fight and shit. And then, like, all my Jewish friends, same way. Like, it was like you're either getting picked on for being a nerd or a Jew or, like, something. You know what I mean? It's kids. Kids are ruthless, so they're going to pick anything and attack you. The minute we learned about Hitler, that whole fucking week was garbage for my friends, dude. I felt so bad for him, dude. There was this, like, group of kids that were making fun of my one friend until he cried. They were, like, saying just dumb kid shit, like, talking about the Holocaust and, like, Hitler and stuff. I remember getting in this big ass fucking fight. And
the myth of the Holocaust.
Okay. All right. Well, I forgot
didn't happen.
I forgot you're a Holocaust denier.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Flat earther, Holocaust denier, serial rapist, Adam.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, dude, that was a violent year for me, man. I always hated seeing my friends get picked on. Like, I didn't mind it if somebody picked on me because I knew it was just a matter of time before we start fighting. Like, and that's usually when things level out a little bit and shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I went to school with black people and Puerto Ricans for most part, and a lot of Jews.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you grew up in New York, dude. I mean,
yeah. I don't know.
Fucking school, man. School was ruthless, dude.
It was wild. Wasn't it weird? Like, thinking back at it now, it's like,
I wish I would have hit more people. Like, I didn't hit enough people.
I agree. Yep.
I was so afraid of consequence when I was a kid. My parents didn't play around. Like, if you were fucking around in school, like, you were, my parents took education very seriously from the time, like, even before we were in school. Like, me and my sisters, we could operate computers. We could read fairly well. We could, like, we were generally a little more ahead than our peers and stuff. And I never, like, and I did terribly in school. I was always so fucking bored out of my mind, dude. I got, like, mediocre grades and shit. But, yeah, dude, I just remember, like, you don't fuck around in school like that. But there were so many times when, like, I could have just decked a kid and gotten away with it. Like, just get a little bit of detention, maybe get grounded for a week, you know, no big deal. Not like now in our 30s, you deck somebody, you're looking at, like, aggravated assault and shit like that.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, even
or get shot or something.
If you did it at school now.
Yeah, good point.
in trouble. Like,
Unless you bring a gun into a school, then you don't have to worry about any consequences because the cops are just going to wait a mile down the road until you're finished.
yeah, they're just gonna sit there because they're scared. Well, they're scared. That's not their job to do.
Yeah,
protect anyone.
Well, guns are dangerous, Adam. I don't know if you've ever been shot at before, but it's
True.
pretty scary.
Yeah, no, it is. It is scary. The older you get, it becomes more scary.
Yeah. Especially when you
uh,
have all that tactical gear on that's weighing you down. You're carrying these like automatic assault weapons, and you have like all this armor plating on and stuff. It's scary to run into a situation like that because your movement's inhibited. You're not well equipped to handle the situation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've had tactical gear on, I've been shot at, and it's relatively scary. But if it was a bunch of children, I mean, it's not like we were going in to save children.
Right.
Oddly enough, we still went in.
Well, did you see the mom who ran in and grabbed her two kids out of her classroom and ran back to where she was?
Well, I think a father was tased.
Yeah.
Trying to go in.
Several parents got arrested.
Yeah, and then the border patrol kind of was like, we're gonna go in.
Yeah. I think
we hold our beer. We're gonna go in.
Yeah, we're gonna go do your jobs real quick.
Yeah, weird.
Also,
weird.
I'm glad we brought this up again this week because I think last week I said something. I mentioned that teacher who they were initially blaming for leaving the door open.
Not true.
Yeah, that was debunked. So thank God for that woman because I couldn't imagine what she has been victim to since that's occurred, dude. That's fucking insane, dude. She's probably gotten so many death threats and shit. Like I feel so horrible for that woman now.
Well, like all the cops, like they're like, you're not saying shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Those
they're not
cops,
cooperating with the investigation and stuff. But back the blue. We're supposed to really have the cops' backs.
Thin blue
Fuck
line.
your mother.
They're here.
Yeah, dude. It's insane.
It's like
to
our
me.
first responders,
It pisses me off. It pisses me off because it's one of those situations where it's like, I feel bad for the cops that get into that job for like the right reasons and stuff. And it's like, you never see those people in the news. You never see those people because they usually are keeping their mouths shut and they're keeping their heads down and fucking like just doing their jobs.
Right.
And it blows. Like, and I always have to mention that because like I have really good friends that I grew up with that are police officers. I have like older family friends that are were police officers and stuff like that. And it's like, and I've even ran into several cool cops and shit like that. They're few and far between. I've had way more bad situations with cops than I've had good, and that right there is telling in itself.
I agree.
And I don't know anyone that can say otherwise. Like most of my friends would say the same thing. It's like, yeah, usually they have an attitude right off the bat. They're going to try to like push you into doing something wrong so they can escalate the situation. And that's how it normally is. Like, 9 out of 10 times dealing with these guys, I at least get some fucking crazy attitude out of them. And then they're really sarcastic and they want you to like pop off back at them and shit.
Yep.
It's just, and it pisses me off. It's like, this is exactly why people don't give a fuck and they shoot at you now.
Well, they bait you into something because they know you're not armed.
Yeah.
And then they can fuck you up.
Yeah.
But when, a dude is in a school killing little children and some of the children need to be identified with their DNA rather because they're indistinguishable because their faces are destroyed and stuff.
Right.
Because you sat there and did nothing because you were scared of a teenager with a gun. But you're supposed to be a highly trained professional, like you tell everybody, with qualified immunity, who can't get sued personally. I have some problems with that.
Yeah, that's one thing that needs to be taken away. That's the whole thing. Is like
it is in Colorado.
Well, that's the thing. Is like in general, I don't think even at the top level of like a judge or something like that. How many corrupt judges are there? How many times have we caught judges like basically just like abusing their positions and stuff like that? You can't give any human being a heightened sense of like superiority over a body of people. Like even in trusted positions where they're supposed to maintain a level of like, I don't know the correct way to say this. Like I don't think like things like qualified immunity and things like even with my job, again, I can't like, cause I can't talk about it and I can't,
right.
But like, let's say I were to have to testify in court, my testimony is weighs more. It's going to weigh more. Yeah. Than an average citizen. And so, and I don't think that's right, because I'm still just a human being. A judge is a human being. A police officer is a human being. We're all susceptible to, like, we're all capable of lying. We're all capable of abusing our positions. And so I don't think anyone's word should mean any more than anyone else's, because at the root of it, we all fall victim to the same human condition.
Well, especially before body cams.
Yeah. Oh,
I
God.
think just cops are just lying all the time.
Yeah.
Just lying about everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, shit, you and I know someone from a job that we both had who, as soon as she got out of the police academy, she turned down a bunch of jobs because when she would go to train at these stations, they would always tell her, like, hey, if you think someone might be guilty, like, bring them in and we'll figure out a way to charge them. Like, always bring them in. We'll charge them later. And and luckily she was, one of the good ones, and kept hopping around from department to department until she found one out in, like, the middle of nowhere that was, like, actually decent. And so she had to commute forever to get to that job. But she was like, at least I'm comfortable and I'm not being told to, like, abuse my badge on a daily basis. She was like, I haven't even gotten my first paycheck and I'm being told to, like, lie and set people up and shit.
Yeah. Well, that police department also got slapped with a lot of trouble following, like, years and years later.
Yeah.
With lawsuits, multi-million-dollar lawsuits, by the way.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Jana says, my brother is retired law enforcement and he is truly a good person and was a good law enforcement officer.
Cool.
I'm sure.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure. We all know good ones.
Yeah, there's good priests too, but most of them fuck kids.
Yeah, there's lighthearted, decent podcast hosts. We are neither. Agent D-Bone says they literally have to help people and everyone lies to them. Well, yeah, you have to. I mean, it's
true.
You have to defensively lie to cops because they are going to try to fuck you. I've seen people, I know people who have called the cops witnessing a crime and have gotten arrested for one thing or another. Like, where's the incentive to help and to help them do their jobs when there's a very good chance that, like, if they can't get something out of someone else, they're going to fucking pin it on you. Yeah,
the reality of it is you just don't say anything.
Yeah, mind your business.
You're right, by the way. The Fifth Amendment right to just not say anything.
Yeah, dude, just mind your fucking business. Like, I've never called the cops before. I can't think of any situation
same here.
Where I would. Like, I know people are always like, oh, in an emergency you'll call a cop or something like that. It's like, no, I probably won't, dude. I'm usually strapped. I'm not a bad fighter. I don't run into many situations where, like, I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I need help. And I'll probably get myself into some trouble, but I know I'm gonna have to get myself out of it too. Like,
right. And up here it's like they're gonna be here in an hour anyways. It doesn't matter. So
yeah. I did call there was one time, I think I've talked about this before, but back when I still worked at Edible Arrangements, before I moved to Colorado, I witnessed one of my acquaintances' dads, like, I'm using acquaintance loosely. Like, to date, I don't like this dude. But I saw his dad in this fire red Mercedes, and he's, like, on the highway, and we're going like 70, 80 miles an hour. And he's just scraping against the side of the guardrail, like driving into the other lane of oncoming traffic and stuff. He's just fucked up. And this whole family had drug issues. So he's fucked up, and they all have money and stuff. And so he's just fucked up, driving however he wants and stuff. And so I didn't call the cops, but I called 911, and I was like, yo, I know this guy. I, like, gave the dispatcher his tag information and stuff like that, and I followed him to a beach access and told the dispatcher where he had parked, and then they sent a cop in to check him and shit. But by that time I was long gone. I was like, I just can't, I'm not gonna have this guy driving around and kill somebody if I'm seeing it. If I think someone might lose their life over something, then I'll call 911 or something, but I'm not gonna call a direct line to the police or something like that.
Does 411 still exist?
I don't imagine. Does it? I mean, movie phone still exists, so I think
like 411 used to be a thing.
We should troll movie phone next. That's what we'll do.
We should troll 411. Like, this information.
How you gonna troll 411?
Oh no, I guess he just asked for information. So
I'm looking for Bill Cosby. What had happened was he had fucked my wife, and I want reparations.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Like, Well, there was 411. There's 311, which is definitely still around.
That's a sick band, dude. Amber is the
Well,
color of your energy.
Yeah, they also come out to your house and tell you if there's gas lines and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Before you start digging and shit, like if you're gonna put a pool in or.
Yeah. Whoa.
Amber is the color when you're sucking dick. Dude, I used to be such a fucking jam band homo. Like I don't really consider 311 a
They're
jam
not a
band,
jam
but
band.
they're like kind of like they have that tropically like doodly doodly vibe to them.
They do.
And
They
so
do.
like I was so into 311 and like I thought they were so tight. And then like I started playing guitar and I learned some of their songs and I was like, this is the laziest fucking songwriting I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, they still do tours. I think they do pretty well.
Yeah, dude, they have so
Actually.
much money. They own like private islands and shit. It's insane how much money they have.
Little St. James.
Yeah, God willing, man. I hope I have enough money one day to buy that place. I would love to have my own island. I'm such an isolationist, and I
It
don't
would be
know.
cool. Then you can like kind of just chill.
Yeah,
You know?
I would. The first thing I would do.
You want to go
I would-
halvesies?
Yes, yes. First thing I would do is drain any pool and skate it, and then I would have a giant concrete pad poured down, just a giant rectangular concrete pad with a giant overhang for shade, so I could skate that, and I would literally just do the show and skateboard, and smoke weed,
Yeah.
blowing loud.
Yeah, I probably would just sleep a lot.
Yeah, big time, dude. In hammocks, just right
Yeah.
fucking by the beach, just hammock swaying.
Yeah, just swinging on those things.
Dude,
too.
me and you could get a his and hers hammock.
Oh, I just poop on you, dude.
No, come on, not
Oh, oh.
McAfee. I don't want to be like
Oh,
McAfee hammocks. That'd be the
Shut
most
up.
uncomfortable hammock. Could you imagine? Because the girls were like, yeah, you had these hammocks specially made so that when you sit in them, it just spreads your ass cheeks apart and you can fire soft serve all over his chest. What a scumbag.
Weird. I mean, maybe. Well, he was into like research chemicals really hard.
Who isn't, dude? I love research chemicals.
They're getting better every year.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't done one since like my early 20s, but still, dude,
Same. Yeah.
research chemicals are cool. Like, if you get the right ones and you know how to dose it correctly, because don't get me wrong, you fuck up even a little bit on some 2CI or some 2CE or something like that, you're gonna have a bad time. You're not gonna have fun.
You're not gonna have a good time.
Yeah, you can induce some of the most skull-splitting migraines you've ever had in your life from research chemicals.
Also, because like, yeah. Well, I mean, like K2 is kind of like a research chemical, right?
No. That's a completely different thing. That's it's still a synthetic chemical that they like spray onto an assortment of different herbs and stuff that they mix together. So
Right.
it's like half synthetic chemical, half like herb mixture. And K2 is broad. That's a broad thing. There's so many different
Wow.
types of shit like that. Research chemicals is like they are well-researched, well-documented molecular compounds that they know are going to produce this specific effect that's going to have this amount of like onset, peak, and then come down and shit. Like if you ever check out the books Pikal and Tikal, that will give you a large insight into like everything that deals with psychedelics in general. But there's a lot of talk about research chemicals that we know today. Really interesting stuff. Really thick books, but like really, really worth the read if you're into that kind of shit.
Yeah, I think it's the future, probably. I mean, there's like Delta 8 and stuff.
Right.
Those are
Wait.
kind of they're
It's indistinguishable.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, is it's not it's still derived from hemp
Oh, okay.
and it's still THC. It's just not Delta 9. It's a cannabinoid like any other cannabinoid.
Okay.
It's just not Delta 9. And so that's the loophole of why they're able to sell it legally. It's part of the whole farmers bill. If you remember when that went into effect.
Right.
So
Yep.
that was part of the farmers bill. Whenever certain things have a THC level, they have to be compliant with the farmers bill levels, which means like, this particular batch can't have like more than 0.8 milligrams of THC in the entire batch that you're harvesting down, like this hemp batch. But that just means you need like 2 or 3 times the amount of plant matter to make the same potency of a gummy that you would get from like a female plant.
Right.
So it's the same exact thing. It's just a slightly different cannabinoid, but it produces the same psychoactive effect. It's weed.
Yeah, and it's the irony of it that's illegal in places where regular weed's legal.
Yeah, exactly.
So like here you can't get it.
Exactly. It's very
California
odd.
you can't get it.
However,
Alaska,
the places that do sell Delta 8 and stuff like that, most of them source their hemp that they make it with from Colorado farms.
yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, yeah.
The good ones do anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a little walk through drug school today. I think
In sports.
yeah. I don't know about you, but I think this might be a good time to end it.
Yeah, I had a Philly cheesesteak at it like earlier, and I'm gonna shit my pants.
Dude, me too. That's the whole reason I wanted to end this thing. I was like, that fucking grocery store sushi is working on my gut right now.
I'm pretty close to shitting my pants right now.
Yeah. And
My nose is running. I don't know why my nose is running.
I'm not wearing underwear either, so if I shit myself, dude, it's gonna be just like fucking coffee going through the coffee filter.
Well, same. Yeah, it's the weekend. I don't wear.
It's the
Like-
freaking weekend.
Yeah, the sweatpants are gonna be drenched.
Bounce,
We're gonna be
bounce,
drenched.
bounce, 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 bounce.
We're gonna be pooped.
Thank you all for joining us for another installment of the Brass Tacks program. If you haven't I almost said subtracted. If you haven't subtracted to the channel yet, please do so. Like the stream if you liked it. If you didn't like it, KYS. And
CKY.
yeah, and if you have any suggestions or anything you want to see featured on the show, send those either to any of our social media accounts. I check those every day. And you can also send them via email to therealbrasstacks@gmail.com. Go become a patron, patreon.com/Brass Tacks Podcast. Other than that, I think that's all I've got for you. Adam, if you have any hot plugs.
I mean, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. But yeah, I literally have nothing to plug.
Oh, and this episode was brought to you by Halliburton and Lockheed Martin.
Yes. Well, yes. Yeah, this is Bam Margera.
Yeah, this is Bam Margera, and we're gonna go fuck around in Lockheed Martin. Climb the fence.
Responsible Lockheed Martin.
Come on, Bam, don't get shot by security. I gotta work in the morning.
Oh, come on, Bam. Don't fuel the military-industrial complex.
All right, have a good weekend, everybody. Take care. We'll see you soon.